There's been no employer that I ever heard that gave an excuse that said that person was fired because they worked too hard. Remember that. No teacher said I gave them a bad grade because they tried too hard. Today we're talking about multiplying decimals, children. Now, the first thing I want you to write down with multiplying decimals, well, let me give you the example. 0.25 times 0.25 times 0.7. Please write in absolutely the largest possible word. Don't do that because you get all crazy on me. Write this down with a big star. To multiply, you do, capital D-O, not, capital N-O-T, have to line up decimals. That's with addition and subtraction. Sometimes they will line up, but you don't have to. And don't, because it messes people up, because then they start adding zeros, they start doing all sorts of goofy things. It just messes people up. So don't. Write this down, get it in your head. If you see a multiplication sign, you're not lining up decimals. That's addition and subtraction. It's really pretty much a three-step process, and I'll give you the steps right here. Step number one is to multiply like there is no decimals. In other words, children, you're just multiplying 25 times 7. Ignore the zeros in that point because they don't matter. Ignore the decimals. Just multiply 7 times 25. 7 times 5 is 35. 14 plus 3 is, okay. Now, let me tell you, these are the right digits in your answer. The only thing you have to figure out is where the decimal goes. Because it's going to go somewhere in this problem here. And the way that you figure that out, thank you for raising your hand, but I'm not to that point just yet, we have to explain it first, is where step number 2 comes from. In both numbers you multiplied, count, all digits right of the decimal. That's step number 2, which means this. Give you a chance to get that all written down so you can read it. Some of you, again. Same thing about your notes and work ethic. Okay, if you do a nice job with your notes, that means you probably do a nice job on your assignments. Probably you do a nice job with sports things you're in. If you're sloppy in your homework, usually you're sloppy when it comes to practices. You cut corners in practices, you jog instead of run, you cut corners. This means this. You look at both the numbers you multiplied, how many digits are to the right of this decimal? 1, 2, there's 2 there. How many digits are to the right here? Just 1. That is a grand total of 3 total digits, and that's where step number 3 comes in. In your answer, start at the right and move the decimal back that many places. I'll try to write this as best I can. In your answer, sorry, this doesn't look very good, start at the right and move the decimal back that number of places you counted there in step number 2, which simply means the decimal starts here, but you back it up 3 places. So it goes 1, 2, 3 places back. That's where the decimal is in your answer. Your answer should be 0.175. I'm sure we did this before. Review is always good. Let's look at another, for example, Jacob.
I don't understand.
Well, we got not with the examples yet. I'll give you more. How about this one? Right from the book. 2.5 squared. What does the square root or square sign mean? Square root. It means you multiply two of these together. 2.5 times 2.5. Now it just happens that the decimals line up there. That doesn't mean that in your answer it's going to line up. It just happened that in this case the decimal is right there. First step, Jacob Gutzendorf, multiply like there's no decimal. So it's 25 times 25. This is, sorry. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2, 10 there. Bring down to 0. You get 50. I get 625, but I need to put the decimal in the right place. So Jacob, I count in the top number how many digits are to the right of this decimal?
1.
Just 1. In the second number, how many digits are to the right of this decimal? So that's a grand total of 2 places. That's what I have to start. I start at the right and come back 2 places for my answer. So it's going to be not 625, but 6.25. Okay. How about this one? Well, let's do a couple here. 15 times 0.3, 1.5 times 0.3. I guess that's just, we'll just do those two. Now let me tell you, kids, you're going to get the same digits in both of these answers. It's just the decimal is going to be in a different place. 15 times 0.3. Multiplying like there's no decimal, it's 15 times 3, which happens to be 45. Where's my decimal going to go? Well, there's no digits to the right of the decimal here, because the decimal actually is right there, so that's 0. This one has 1 place, so it's a total of 1 place. Back it up 1 place, so your answer is 4.5. Okay. In the second one, children, you're still going to get 45 for your digits. It's just that the decimal is going to be in a different place. In the second one, DJ, the decimal is?
0.45.
Exactly, because there's 1 here and 1 there. That's 2, so you come back 2 places, so it is 0.45. Sammy.
First time I did the 2.5 times 2.5, we were at 7, or 7.75 in the second one, we had the 7.
Are you saying that I'm wrong or your multiplication is wrong? 2.5 times 2.5. 5 times 5 is, Sammy? So we put the 5 down, put the 2 up there. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2 is 12. Bring down a 0 when you start the next column. 2 times 5 is? Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. Did you see where you went wrong?
Yeah.
625. 2 decimal places there. G-race. Please, mult.
So, I don't think this is a new
I can't hear a word you're saying, Alexa. Did you hear it?
No.
Are you that quiet like at home, or is it just here?
I think it's the first time I've heard it.
That's the first time, according to Ryan, you've ever been that quiet. What's your question?
This is pretty honest in 4th grade. She was a teacher. She taught us whenever I have a decimal, you say 8.
Okay. Any other questions?
Why you told us to say and, but the next thing us to say point.
Well, my point in not saying and is that I don't want to have to go and say it's 6 and 2500ths all the time. I'm just going to say 6.25 because when we grade and I have to wait for those of you to figure out if 0.25 is 2500ths, we would be here forever.
Okay.
She said there's no way you could say 6.25?
She just said you guys have to say.
Why? Well, you guys have to
Look,
say.
me had to write it out.
When Mrs. Lee comes back and talks to you, you can say, for me, you can say 6.25. I'm good with that.
Okay.
Of all the things we could talk about, that is the one. Let me give you one more. How about this one? 0.8 squared. Now, Evan, just in case, if you see this problem on your paper, on the book, you will write this down. And then you will write 0.8 times 0.8.
Wait, do I have to use parentheses?
That's the problem from the book, yes.
No, I meant like around ants. Like in
There's no point in being in the answer.
There is no answer.
Parentheses are the multiplication.
Yeah.
no. Okay.
When you do that, 8 times 8, Sammy, is? Where does the decimal going to go in that? And again, notice, in this case, the decimals happen to line up. They're not going to end up lining up in the answer, Peter, because the decimal goes where?
Before, yeah.
Perfect. Everybody's happy.